Welcome to ResponseABLE Parenting, the podcast that shows you how to parent in alignment to your emotions, needs, and goals versus your programming, bad advice, and let's face it, outdated strategies that just don't work. You'll get in the trenches support on nervous system and emotional regulation, critical mindset shifts, stronger communication strategies, and more. In this podcast, you'll gain transformational tools that take you from reacting to every frustration to responding with clarity, regulation, and finally setting the example you desire for your kids. I'm Becky Jennings, your new parenting coach, and this is the ResponseABLE Parenting Podcast. Let's get into it. Hello, welcome back. If you're hearing all the noises in the background of my house, I am so sorry. It is like 1.5 billion degrees outside, and so my air conditioning can't keep up. The ice machine's working on overdrive. My dogs are just like, ugh. So I'm sorry for all the background noise. I really hope that you could hear me through it. Maybe I'll bring this microphone closer so that it is just a little bit better. So anyways, I wanted to share something that I found interesting, and I actually used it this morning with my kid who was already going down the rabbit hole of like, "Ugh, mom, doing the thing. Like I couldn't make the waffle right. It was quote unquote too smushy inside. And honestly, I don't know how to cook a waffle that isn't like either hard as a rock on the outside and smushy on the inside, or it's just smushy everywhere. Unless I'm leaving that waffle in the waffle iron until it is like black and crispy, I'm just not sure. Maybe my batter's off. I'm not sure. One kid has no problem with these, but the other, it is an absolute fail on so many levels because I could be smacking the outside of it with a fork and it sounds like I'm knocking on the door. But it's quote unquote too smushy inside, so it has to get thrown out, which fun for me and very triggering to curate and make all this food only to have it be thrown away. Thank you so much, buddy. Really, really appreciate that. But I have been in the trenches creating this nervous system workshop for you all. And it's all about how to rewire your reactivity, and it all comes down to nervous system responses. And in the workshop, I teach you exactly how to do that. It's a 4-step process. Definitely check it out. I will link it in the show notes. It's chock full of so much information. But one thing that I find really powerful and super overlooked is our primal emotions. So we are all wired with these same primal emotions. We have fear, anger, sadness, shame, disgust, happiness, and surprise. Now, if you look at all of those and you're kind of ruminating on those words, about 5 of those sound really negative. One sounds positive and one is kind of neutral. Surprise can be either really scary or surprise can be really joyful. So we are primarily wired to look at the negative and prepare ourselves for survival, right? That's just kind of innately what those 5 are doing. Like, how can we be aware of a situation? How can we protect ourselves? All things. So if you look at our primal emotions, 5 of the 7 are like red hot, be aware, hyper alert. These are dangerous, all the things. So, of course, we're looking at every situation from that lens of survival, protection. It's more negative, all the things. Makes a lot more sense now when you think of like why you get triggered so often, right? These primal emotions are being triggered on a regular basis. Yes, we can break them down a little bit further and get even deeper to the root cause of the actual hurt and wound of those, but those are going to be the emotions that surface. Those are going to be the emotions that trigger first, that basically tell you how to respond based on the patterns of reactivity that you followed forever. So, I digress. That's part of the workshop. Go check it out. However, there is one, and this isn't in the workshop. This is special for you guys right here. There is one primal emotion that is neutral that can swing either way, and that is surprise, right? We go to horror movies to be surprised, but it creates a fear response in us, right? That is a more negative thing. Or we can have a surprise party and have everybody jump out and say surprise, and we are flooded by the love and the dopamine of the excitement of the party, right? It can swing either way. So How can we use this primal emotion to shut down a power struggle, to elicit that positive swing of that primal emotion in our favor? And I'm going to give you an example. And it's super simple, but it really is the surprise aspect that shifted the whole power struggle that I was going to have this morning. So, making the waffles this morning, and it's not going very well, right? He is really frustrated that the outside of the waffle is really crispy and crunchy, exactly as he wanted, but the inside is so smushy, and he's really angry about it, and he's mad at me and all the things. Basically, throwing the waffle into the compost, and I'm like, awesome. So I'm getting flooded with the nervous system response of anger. And that's to be expected. I did all this work, right? I'm making this meal for my son. I'm trying to set him up for success by having like a protein waffle so that he can go to school and he has brain fuel and all the things. Meanwhile, he's showing me his disgust. He's showing me his anger, and he's starting to go down this road of lashing out. And he's basically, it's going to end up in a power struggle where I tell him, I'm so sorry, no breakfast then. And he's going to scream and cry, and he's going to say, fine, I hate you, and all the things. So as he's all frustrated with this, he throws at me, I'm thirsty. And I was almost like, then go get yourself a glass of water. I was like, get it yourself, basically. And he's like, I said, well, you can walk yourself over and get yourself some water. I'm finishing the lunches and I'm finishing your breakfast, right? I was very proud of the fact that I said that neutrally. And then he's like, I'm going to die. I'm so thirsty. I'm going to die. And I immediately thought of surprise in this moment. Wouldn't it be so surprising if in that moment he couldn't get his glass of water, so he died, right? And I said to him, out of nowhere, I go, and the coroner showed up, and the coroner said, oh, death, because he couldn't walk over and get his glass of water. And he cracked up, couldn't stop laughing, right? Do another one, do another one, Mom, do another one. And it was the surprise response that I threw in there that allowed him to no longer see me as a threat. It took down his primal reactivity and it neutralized the entire situation. I took that primal emotion of surprise and I swung it to the positive to help neutralize. And we ended up having a very hilarious breakfast where I finally nailed the waffle. We weren't mad at each other, and that's the whole point. So I used that primal emotion to my advantage. Now, how can we use this through everyday scenarios? It's 2025, and there is more parenting advice than ever before. Yet we're still confused, stuck, and as a result, fall back into yelling, threatening, and punishing in moments that don't require such harsh reactions. Parenting has evolved, and it's time your parenting strategies do too. Welcome to Rewire with ResponseABLE Parenting. This is where you get the support you're looking for so you can make fast, positive, and long-term change in your household. Inside this complete parenting system, you'll get a done-for-you roadmap that teaches you how to understand why you get so triggered, how to support both yourself and your child in the heat of the moment so you can react less and respond in a way that connects you versus creates more ruptures. You will quickly create a new nervous system baseline, allowing you to access more regulated and effective communication so that you can set and hold boundaries without meltdowns, reduce power struggle nightmares, and truly dial down the temperature that spikes every day. And if you're like me, you crave instant results and personalized feedback. Now you can join Rewire Level Up and have 6 months of weekly coaching calls. In these calls, we work together on your specific challenges and we hyperspeed your rewiring process. This means you see faster changes in your home, which means relief sooner. This is your complete program to rewire your parenting brain so that your whole family can finally exhale. Join Rewire today and start feeling relief as early as tonight. Say you're launching into a power struggle and your child is really starting to have like a nasty, sassy tone, right? And then you are about to say like, how dare you talk to me like that? Or any number of call and responses that we typically have. So you can, oh God, oh my God, there's something stuck in my ear. Oh my God. And you like oh my gosh, it really hurts, right? You're surprising them. You're snapping them out of that. And then you pretend, if you can see me on the YouTube video, you can see me pretending to pull their words out of my ear, and I kind of shake it off, throw it again. And then I say something like, oh, you want to try that again? That didn't land in my ears very well. It neutralizes the moment. It surprises them, right? But it's a positive swing in the right direction. Or, your kids are sassing and talking back, or, they say something rude, right? And all of a sudden you start looking under the table, or you start looking in the couch cushions, and you're like, I swear it was here last week. Like, where is it? Your kids are immediately surprised by what you're doing. And they're like, what are you looking for? What are you looking for? And you're like, oh, I was looking for the words that you know how to speak. I was looking for the way that you know how to talk to me. Would you like to try that again? And it's funny, it's disarming. It shows like, hey, we can do this together and work on the skill. So I'd love for you to come up with a couple surprising things of like how you can show up differently in the same repeated patterns that you constantly find yourself in with your kids. What is a way that you can surprise them with a totally different, funny or creative or silly or joking way that swings that primal emotion over to the positive, that disarms them a little bit and allows them to see you as their support, allows them to see you as a teammate, and at the same time, they get a do-over. What do you think about this? Did you find that helpful? Send me a DM, tell me what you thought, share what is going on for you, what you'd like to hear more of. And then also, do not miss the recording of this workshop. It was super, super powerful. And I think you're really going to just sink your teeth into this process, because no matter what, this is the exact process to change any habit. So let's change the habits that actually matter to the relationships that matter. So go check out this workshop. It's all about rewiring your reactions so that you can actually do it the way you want. So you're teaching your kids that you're a support. You're teaching yourself that you have the inner safety and strength to do this. Don't miss that workshop. It's in the show notes, and I will see you next week. Thank you for listening to the ResponseABLE Parenting Podcast. If you like what you heard, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. If you know someone who would benefit from this podcast, I'd be honored if you'd share this episode with them. Until next time, know that you are enough, you are capable, you've made it through all of your hardest days, and we will keep growing on this parenting journey together. This podcast was produced by Kim Kelty and myself, Becky Jennings, and edited by the Kelty Method, Branding and Podcasting.